Good evening. Dan with Supporting Systems here, giving you a June 17th evening legal update on the laws coming into effect in the state of Washington July 1st. We'll try to be as brief as possible and then provide a written summary of the notes here. So I will go forward. If you have questions, please submit them on the Facebook page, and we will do our best to answer those in a timely fashion. Lowers, frames, and receivers. The hubbub surrounding those in the state of Washington is completely legitimate. We have our Senator Wilson and some of the other legislators down here are drafting a letter to send to the various agencies within the state of Washington to try and get some corrective action so that we have the ability to continue to sell lowers, frames, and other items that we won't be able to process after July 1st with the current rules from the FBI in the state of Washington. State of Washington has been aware of this since about 2009 when they got their programming corrected so that they could submit an other in into the NICS system. They haven't done anything with it. The FBI gave them another 1-year extension, which expires the end of this month. And the state has not provided dealers with any mechanism to transmit that data in for approval, nor did they negotiate with the FBI to allow FFLs to continue to submit those background checks via the NICS system. So our legal team is working on a resolution towards this, as well as our state legislators putting something together to get this out and get it resolved before the end of the month. We brought this up during a Senate hearing in November, and no action was taken. We brought this up again in April, and there was no action taken. Basically, the state has dropped the ball on this completely, and July 1st it will result in a de facto ban on the transfer of those items, not on the possession or the use or even the sale, but we just can't deliver them because we can't do a background check on those items through the NICS system. So corrective actions are underway. There's going to be a lot of action here in the next, probably this week on this topic, so stay tuned. Yes, we are selling a wicked amount of lowers right now, approximately 400 last week, and we have another 350 arriving tomorrow. So very, very busy selling, brisk business selling those, and we're doing that, continuing to do that as part of our two-for deal, and it's been very, very popular, doing it damn near at cost to just make a point and sell over 6,000 lowers before this law goes into effect, and we're coming up on that, so we'll keep pushing on it. The injunction will not be in place come July 1st. We need a few other things to fall into place before we can make that happen. So the full effect of 1639 will be in place come July 1st. All of the rules, all the new forms, all the new fees, all of the HIPAA waivers, everything will be in full force. And unfortunately, most of that falls to the dealer to comply with. But we have a lot of things going on in the background with the legal team, with different law enforcement agencies as they're projecting what their lead times are to return background checks. So be prepared come July 1st. Things will be changing dramatically in the delivery of firearms. And I do not say go out and panic buy. It's just going to take longer to get things. And they will get a corrective action on the lowers and the other firearm items, but that may not happen by July 1st, although we are certainly working towards that. Let's see. Other questions have been asked a lot this week. HIPAA violation. That will not be challenged in court. HIPAA rules apply to healthcare providers. They don't apply to the state of Washington, asking you to waive your healthcare privacy for the rest of your life and even after you're dead, because there's no way to get yourself off of the list once you're on the list. So that is not going to be challenged at this point in time. Perhaps if the state becomes a full-on healthcare provider, then it would give us grounds to say the state has no business requesting those records. But at this time, it's not going anywhere. Further state challenges. At this time, I'm not aware of any other challenges that are formally moving forward in the state of Washington. That's not to say somebody else isn't doing it. I don't know everything. I know a little bit. So I'm sharing with you what I know. And I am not aware of any other single challenge. Neither is the NRA or the Second Amendment Foundation, at least that they've disclosed or discussed with me. We are one of 2 gun shops that are the plaintiffs in this lawsuit against the state of Washington, along with 4 juvenile plaintiffs. And so we have pretty good information coming back to us on all this stuff. We're pretty plugged in to the equation. So we're going to continue to provide the most up-to-date and accurate information possible. Not going to speculate on a lot of things. We're going to give you the data that we have. So you can ask questions. Please submit them on our Facebook page for this video. We'll monitor that and answer that as best we can. The trial date itself is likely to be scheduled about 18 months from now. We have a significant issue in the Western District Court of Washington in that there are 3 active judges actually taking cases right now, and they are semi-retired. Senator Murray and Senator Cantwell have not allowed additional appointments from the administration to that bench. So everything is dragging out exceptionally long periods of time because there are no judges to take on the cases. So our case is in the hopper. It is moving forward. The judge gave us a very good decision several weeks ago in allowing us to move forward. The interrogatories and the discovery requests have been turned in, and now we start the long process of those going back and forth with the defendants and getting that information and then sorting through it. If they provide the information asked, then we got to go through it, and that means a bunch of expensive lawyers and paralegals and such reading through all these documents to find all the information that's needed to support our claims. So that is moving forward. Our free 1639 training class, I've instructed our web provider to go ahead and complete the build of that. We were holding off, hoping we'd get the injunction in place and we wouldn't need to spend the money on the development of that. But the injunction's not happening in the time that we want to see, so we've authorized them to go ahead and finish the production of that. We will get it thoroughly beta tested. We've put it onto a server with significant resources so that it'll function flawlessly, and we will provide that 1639 certification training for free to all the citizens of Washington. I don't think, and this is my personal opinion, I don't think Washington citizens should have to pay to take a class to be able to purchase a firearm, to exercise their Second Amendment rights. That's time out of your day, that's money out of your pocket, that's additional headache and hassle, and I am all for training. Training is a great thing. Practice and training are great things. And places that choose to charge for that, I hope they are providing a level of training that measures up to what they are charging for. There's an awful lot of folks out there, law enforcement, military members, longtime firearms users. I'm a firearms instructor. I have to have a certification for me to be able to purchase a semi-automatic rifle. The members of our local SWAT team here in Southwest Washington will have to take a class and have a certification and sign an affidavit that says that they've had the requisite training. So I think that should be done for free. So I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and I'm doing it for free. We are going to provide that on our website, and we will do it for free. We will do a formal rollout here in the coming weeks. Once we make sure that everything works flawlessly and we won't get embarrassed by rolling something out prematurely. So bear with us on that. It's coming, and it will be done. It will be done for free. The other thing is that we're doing right now is continuing to raise money for the Second Amendment Foundation. Last week we donated a second check for $10,000 to the Second Amendment Foundation, and we will continue to raise money for them for these legal challenges here in Washington. We've raised approximately $100,000 since 1639 got put on the ballot. That was all of that money was spent on signs, on flyers, on shipping. We haven't taken a dime of that for ourselves. In fact, we've put in far more than we probably should have, but we believe it's the right thing to do. So we will continue to fight, continue to raise money, and we will continue to match funds that we raised. During a live chat last week, local YouTube blogger, the Yankee Marshal, raised about $1,200 during the course of that live chat. So we matched that $1,200 and sent that off to the Second Amendment Foundation. So we are going to continue to raise funds for this fight. It's not just our fight. It's a fight for those around us. Oregon, you've got this coming at you. I talked with somebody from Nevada this weekend, and they have similar laws coming at them. 1639 was a blueprint and a roadmap for the anti-gun groups to continue to chip away at gun rights at the state level. So because they were successful here in manipulating the public and the message, not doing a damn thing for school or community safety, but just imposing their will on restricting the civil rights of law-abiding Americans. And we're going to see more of this elsewhere around the country as they know they can now buy legislation that they can't get passed. They can buy it in the initiative process. So we're going to fight it tooth and nail here. We're going to continue to raise funds for the Second Amendment Foundation. We're going to continue to do everything we can to provide you with the best possible firearms owning experience here in the state of Washington. So we're going to fight for you. We are going to do everything we can to raise money for the Second Amendment Foundation. We're going to do everything we can to get these laws to regress, to back them up, to strike them out, and to fight them with everything we've got. So ask everybody out there to reach out to your legislators, talk to them, reach out to your friends, families, and coworkers, and educate them on firearms rights, and educate them about the truth of gun violence and versus the legal use of firearms, and the fact that they are not correlated. We've all got to put in an extra effort right now, or we're going to continue to have our rights trampled. So please step up, carry on, get your local gun shops, get your local ranges, get your local gun clubs, get your friends all involved in this fight. We're in this position because that didn't happen prior to November. Only a few shops did anything. Only a few gun rights groups did much and were active. And because of that, 1639 passed. It passed by a wide margin. And we're going to live with that, the repercussions of that for a little while. So we can't let that happen again. Get your locals involved. Ranges, shops, clubs, the groups that you shoot with. You've all got to vote. You've all got to make sure you're voting for candidates that aren't on an anti-gun agenda. You've got to put your money where your mouth is and step up. Fund the efforts to stop the march of gun control in the state of Washington. And you got to fight now, or this stuff's going away. And rights don't tend to come back when they've been taken away. So get out there.